So, and if we did, we'd be paralyzed knowing these feelings are still. Let's go. You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency. Come on. You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And yes. We are back for another episode for the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Carter.
Double D, Derek Demers.
Charlie P, what's happening?
And we are the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Yeah, log on to WMB1 Radio if you are in your car, if you are at the gym, or you just relaxing, trying to enjoy this Sunday. Download the app WMB1 Radio and listen to us right now, the Frequency Live. What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
That's it, man. Good day for me, man.
Good day.
Good day. I had buddy Joe's birthday party, graduation party rather. I had my grandson's birthday party. So I'm doing good, man. And the icing on the cake is Frequency Live. I'm here with you guys.
Great way to end the week or start the week, however you want to look at it. How you doing, D? Haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, you know what? I've been just super busy.
Yo, you seem like y'all just beat up right now.
I got a lot on my plate right now.
Yeah. All right.
You didn't get kidnapped or anything, did you?
No. Just state prison house stuff, you know,
all right.
College, just a lot of stuff. Big parties.
I just seen you and your daughter toasting with that nice drink, man.
I set time out for my baby girl.
All right. That matters.
There's a lot of birthdays coming up. You ever know why? Because people have a lot of sex during the winter, and then 9 months, and then everybody had their separate birthday.
And there are a lot of birthdays. In my family, like June is crazy.
Yeah, they'll get it in the wintertime.
September, like, you know.
Yeah, it was a good week. Well, not a good week. We had a show. Well, yeah, it was a good week. We had a show. We were the weekend. We didn't have a show last Sunday. The Celtics lost.
Yeah.
How we feel about that, guys?
Well, Tatum's my favorite player, and for him to go down like that, and then them losing, kind of puts a damper two ways, you know. And then where I normally anticipate the basketball season, I'm not going to anticipate it too much because my favorite player is not going to be around. And it looks like he's not going to be around until April 2026. At that point, that's when the playoffs start. So do we know if the Celtics are going to be in the playoffs? And how much of Tatum are we going to get in April 2026? Not too much. So I'm just kind of, I got to wait the team out, you know. But I can't wait until the Patriots beat the Raiders week 1.
Yeah, okay. Good luck with that one. You know, a real man wear black. I want to have like a sports discussion real quick. I'm watching these playoff games, right? And I just don't like the basketball that I see.
I do
You
too.
like it or just?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And what I don't like about it is some obvious stuff. Is the basketball IQ. There is no basketball IQ in this game right now. They're just playing off pure talent where it's starting to come off looking sloppy. You know, I was watching the Pacers and Knicks game, and even into the Minnesota OKC game, like someone like Ant-Man, you don't have the basketball IQ to really understand that they're double teaming you. So the best way to eliminate that advantage that they have by double teaming you, get into posts where where you get able to pass out of it, and it's hard for you to be double teamed. People could cut and back and forth. Like, you know, I look at a game totally different in my older age. Now I have some more experience as far as playing it and then really watching it and listen to people that know more basketball than me and looking at it with a more mature eyes. And I just don't it's almost like you're taking the whole coaching aspect out of
Yeah.
the NBA basketball.
Too many 3-pointers for me.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys, to me, you got guys going to the basket where they could go strong to the basket, maybe draw off out, and they're kicking it out for a 3-point shot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the 3-pointer too, but it's way too much of it. And the other thing is, like, I'm not really a Brunson fan as I wasn't a James Harden fan. Like the flop in your body every time someone like brisks you. It's like I don't know. That's just kind of like I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, those 4 or 5 years, those Jace with Harden and Houston, those are that was when it was flopping time. Everyone started picking it up and doing it. So with Brunson, he started picking that up. I'm gonna flop. I'm gonna go to line. He's probably high 90s, and when it comes to the free throw line, so they all got taught that way. That's the way to do it, and so they started doing it. And now the NBA and the fans like us are saying, we don't like that. I don't like that type of basketball. I truly, truly don't like it. And Brunson and those guys, Harden, they took advantage of it. I'm pretty sure that they got point totals in the thousands just because of the free throw line.
Right.
So
I will say this, like, as far as the NBA goes, I'm not impressed with the officiating. I feel like it needs to be a little more consistent because I actually like the fact that some games I watch, and it's not just Celtics game, but I am a big NBA person. Some games I watch, they're letting them play. I'm like, wow, holy shit, this is like going back to like the 80s and 90s, right?
Especially in the beginning of the playoffs,
like the next quarter or the next game, or they're calling like tic tac, fouls again. So it's like I don't know. I think they need a little more consistency.
Exactly, took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And it was I was very pleased, especially at the beginning of the playoffs. They're letting them play, they're banging. It was nice. You could see the intensity, you see the sweat on the players, because they're really truly truly playing, and they're letting them play. But 3 refs were like ticky tack fouls were kind of killing the game. The very next game, that's when they killed it, and that's where the inconsistency shows up.
Can I give my one take about the Celtics? That the Tatum thing. I actually posted this reel that I made like the next morning after the Celtics lost, and I'm like to me, and I never care if the Celtics lose so much because like my daughter was graduating from college the next day. Like there's so many greater things in life than like basketball.
Yes.
I'm a big fan. Obviously, want to see them win, but it never ever bothers me when they do lose. However, I really hated to see Tatum go down with an injury like that.
Yeah.
Because one, it's a player getting hurt, right? And the two is from a fan's point of view. Here's a guy that's like, I feel like he's still taking it to another level every year. To me, every year he's come into the league, he's gone up and up and up. I feel like he still has another step or two. So he was like, say peak, right?
Yeah.
And now will we ever see that? Like, because with an injury like this, is he going to come back and be that same player? So
it could also be a blessing in disguise.
How so?
So I believe that he's getting an Achilles, and maybe he might lose some of his athleticism, which forces him to depend less on it and more of the skill of playing basketball. Tatum is a great player, but he does have another level. But his other level is not, all right, you have to improve your ball handling. You have to improve your shooting. You got to improve. He's good at all that stuff. Now he got to improve the mindset, your intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Where you like, again, I'm just going to go down for an example of going to the post. You are 6'10". He's not 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". He's 6'10".
Right.
You're 6'10" that has a high arcing type of shot. You will be unstoppable, and you're a very skillful player. So I really feel like, and this is what I love about Michael Jordan coming to the fold, where he's going to be an analyst. Because Michael Jordan, I think we all know he's a no nonsense guy. And I think just like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith, they're very critical. But a lot of people may come back, especially Charles Barkley, where he's very outspoken. Oh, you got no champions. What do you know? What are you going to say to Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Where that's the GOAT of best of all time. What are you going to say? So I think that he's going to teach the game in a basketball sense, not of a personality sense. He's going to be like, I think it's almost like Brady coming into the fold.
So I agree with you. I really, really enjoy listening to Brady talk about football. You know, the jury's going to be out if I'm going to enjoy listening to Mike, right? Because even though he might have the knowledge, but does he have the way about him to kind of like? You know,
I think he does.
He could.
I think that Michael Jordan, as being an analyst, is going to contribute to the change in mindset of these players.
If you look at all the different, especially the documentary that came out, and it's got Jordan verbalizing to his players and what he sees and what they should be seeing or doing rather. Jordan's going to bring that to the play-by-play, and he's gonna do that. Additional to that is Vince Carter, right? He's coming on board too.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have some quality.
I didn't even know that.
He's another one that he got signed too. So, I mean, come on, if you don't listen to the GOAT, I mean, and I think he's going to be able to break it down. Another GOAT is Larry Bird. He's another person that breaks down things real well. I wish he was doing play-by-play, but he likes that administration level type job, you know. So we'll see. But no,
I mean, Larry Bird is a winner. He won Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year. I wish he was more involved in the NBA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep,
he's won on every level that college, NBA, coaching, general manager, right?
Yep.
I mean,
high school.
Yeah, he needs to be more involved in the NBA, in my opinion.
Yeah, he actually they got him quoted on I believe it was Instagram. And sticking up for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
His voice matters, like, right? He's a legend. He is,
Hey, we don't have the Larry Bird trophy for nothing in the East.
I'll just ready to bring that up. What do you feel about? Because I think they're really trying to implement the old, not the old NBA, but the NBA that made it so popular, where the Eastern Conference is the Larry Bird Trophy. The Western Conference MVP is the Magic Johnson Trophy. The MVP of the league is the Michael Jordan Trophy. The MVP of the finals is the Bill Russell Trophy. They're trying to implement and trying to get the mindset of these players. I don't think they're trying to keep these players alive as far as like their legacies are their legacies, but I really think they want to keep their personalities brand new, because that's what the NBA is not as popular as it was back then, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling, because these players are playing for highlights versus competition to win.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think that bringing these players, like, who says that, all right, Michael Jordan comes on, wouldn't it be nice to have Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird just analyzing the game, and these guys are so sensitive that you're gonna challenge these guys?
They're a good conversation. I mean, you've seen it when they were on the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Their interviews and going back and forth about different things, and Magic joking around that he got too close to Jordan. They might call a foul or whatever he was saying. You remember that?
Yeah.
So it just I like that. I'm gonna miss a lot of the. Now, what happens with that TNT crew? What happens with?
They're going to ESPN.
Okay, that's what it is.
Bought them out.
All right. So Inside the NBA is going to ESPN.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is good.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to lose that show. I knew somebody was gonna buy him out because that show's too popular, too good.
Yeah.
But then you now you got the NBA back on NBC. You know, so now you got it on regular channels, not on the cable channels where we can watch these games throughout the year. You know, you need to bring that back, because I think that you got all these cable stations and the streaming networks and everything like that. You need to get that you know, regular fan,
Mhm.
you know, on NBC. So I think that was a good play on their part. But it just, what do we feel about now? You got Indiana and OKC.
I'm gonna love the guard play of both teams. You know, I think they're quick. They're, you know, I think they're able to produce a lot of offense. I'm a point guard, shooting guard type guy. You know, small forward. Those are the guys I like to see play, and so I think it's going to be a track meet. Um, it's going to be a track meet only because Indiana is going to make that. They're going to actually control the game, more so than OKC has a great defense, but I don't think they're going to be able to kind of slow Indiana up. And I don't know what
Are you
they're.
picking Indiana? I'm hearing you picking Indiana.
I think they can do it. You know, I really do. I do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that neither.
I mean, I'm happy it's more them than New York, because I think that OKC would have swept New York easily, and I mean easily. I wish that, you know, the Celtics didn't want to have a 3-point contest and play basketball, because watching Boston and that team against OKC would have been an amazing final.
Yeah, it would have.
I like Gilchrist the way he plays. He plays below the 3-point line, and his threes are getting to the foul line. Like that's how you get it. You know, he's very efficient, and and because he's efficient and he plays below the 3-point line, it opens up his teammates for opportunities. It's easy for you to defend when all you're doing is shooting threes and deep threes. You're all not Steph Curry. You got to play like there is no basketball IQ in this game. And I think that we're so stat driven in this game, and these stats are inflated. Now, let's have a conversation. Like I'm just running, like I don't want to have like a good conversation about the fact that people want to my thing about LeBron James. I'll give LeBron James as an example. He's a great player, but people want to say that he has this big basketball IQ, and they try to bring out his stats, but the stats inflated because the way the rules change. For an example, back in the day, what was an assist? An assist back in the day was, I'm going to pass you the ball. You could possibly do one dribble, but you have to shoot it. Now is assist that if I pass you the ball, you can dribble, then shoot it. If you make it, I get the assist. So let me ask you, if that was back in the day, the amazing passes that we watched, how much more of assist that would they have?
Oh,
If we were able to count as I'm passing you the ball and you could dribble it.
I don't know that rule. I don't know how many dribbles you can actually do.
There's
got to be a limit.
No, not in today's game.
All right, I didn't know that.
Is it, you know what I'm saying? Somebody passes you the ball and you dribble, then you shoot a three. That person that after pass you the ball. Wow. Because you would think that after the dribble, y'all creating your own shot, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's not an assist.
Yeah.
Back in the day, an assist was I'm passing you the ball, and if you had to take a dribble to take a step or whatever, that's after that it's not even assist. And I even think way before then you couldn't even dribble the ball. I pass you the ball, and you got to go for it. So we need to understand, like, we're giving these players a lot of highlight, like a lot of credit, but they are playing in an era that is making it easier to make up these stats. And then you look at players back in the day, still got great stats, but it was harder for them to make those stats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the offense is geared around it's geared around offense right now, the game.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about, like, Charles Barkley or these guys scoring all these points back then, you're getting like beat up going to the basket. Now it's like it's all about the offense. So I don't say it's easier, but it's kind of easier to,
Yeah.
And this is my thing. we're seeing a lot of different injuries, right? Because maybe the game is so soft that your body can't even is not even trained to take a beating. It's almost like in football. In football, you see a lot. You've seen a lot of injuries lately because in training camp you can't hit. In practice, you can't hit. You're not training your body to take the abuse that you're gonna really take during Sundays. You see what I'm saying? So now it can't protect itself. Now it's like,
I mean, like Tatum's injury, it wasn't even a contact foul, right? But there was an argument that people were making where like they want kids to play all sports in their youth. To your point, right? You have these kids that are just concentrating on like baseball or whatever. Right? They're not using these other muscles. Like instead of playing soccer in the fall or basketball, you know what I mean? Where you kind of use all your different kind of muscles, and as you grow up, they're concentrating on one sport, and they seem like to be getting injured. So there's been a study about that.
Yeah, and he did have a second sport, and I can't remember what it was, but Tatum was playing a second sport until he focused on basketball.
Yeah,
I forget what it was, but
look at it. Think about this. The star that never gets hurt, and he played multiple sports, and that's LeBron James. He been playing multiple sports until he got into the NBA. He was a football player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
yeah.
So he's used to getting his body set up for that, but his body's so used to the rigorous of like, I don't think we realize how much of basketball LeBron was playing in his younger years. Like he'll go right to like playing a season into playing for the USA. You know what I'm saying? And he's always in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? His body is built to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He usually has end of July, August, September off, and then he's preparing for the NBA. That's for a lot.
But that's
of
not if he's not playing for the USA team.
Yeah,
because ever since he's been in the league, he played for the USA teams a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot. And you don't think that is good for the body? People think, oh, he needs your rest. Like, nah, I don't think so. I think that you got to keep your body. You don't want to get soft tissues developed where it's easily torn. Like LeBron James has never got a major injury.
No.
Why is that? Unless you take steroids. But even steroids is going to be your body by the time you get to 40 years old.
I don't know. The only loss he has is his hair loss.
Yeah, you got to let that go.
Hey, can I say one thing before we shift to the show? The Indiana Pacers, there is a local connection to one of the players. You guys know that?
Yes.
Ben Shepherd.
Yep.
Right. So so that automatically makes me want to root for the Indiana Pacers. So just a really quick story. I don't know if you guys know him. My buddy Quinn Fennell.
Yeah.
Quinn Fennell, right? I used to see him post on Facebook about Ben Shepherd and being there or being like in a watch party at someone's house or whatever. So I knew someone knew him or trained him or whatever. So I knew this is going like for months now, right? Maybe even to like last year. I don't know. But I was at Top Shelf like 3 weeks ago. And I see this woman there, and she had a Pacers hat on in the back. It said Auntie. So I was actually, the place was packed. There was 2 people ready to leave, her and someone else. I'm like, dude, I got to get behind there and get a seat because I want to sit and watch the Celtics game, right? So I ended up going behind her, and I'm like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, I feel like there's a local connection there. I see the auntie on your hat. What's going on here? So she gave me like the skinny on everything, So I think that's a good story. I'm rooting for the kid, Ben Shepherd. He's getting some good minutes too.
Yeah, he is.
He's not someone that's just sitting on the bench.
Solid shooter, solid player.
He's getting some minutes, So I'm rooting.
What does he look like? Because I know he's on the team. What does he look like?
A mustache.
That's what I thought it was.
But there's 2 dudes with mustaches.
Yeah,
he's light skinned, like real light skinned.
Yeah.
So there's 2 dudes with mustaches, and one guy has like long, like dreads, kind of. Not him.
Not him. Yeah. It's a light skinned one.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Good luck. I mean, to play in the NBA Finals on that stage, you can't complain about that. I mean, not complain about it, but you got to congratulate him on that. I want to also bring up one more sports thing. Then we're getting.
So Nathan just commented on that too. So the aunt was super excited to talk about it and so proud that her nephew was playing in the
Mhm.
NBA. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good story. Good story.
The Wild
love
Kingdom.
it.
When he's talking about Wild Kingdom, he's talking about West Lawn. When you hear the word,
Oh, so I was I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. When he's talking about Wild Kingdom, it's West.
West Lawn.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
West Lawn Projects. He
Hey,
has.
how many kids you got at Westlawn? I mean, well, they're grown people.
Let's. Did we watch? I want to get into Caitlin Clark and Andrew Reese a little bit because obviously Caitlin Clark, she's out for 2 weeks, but before she was out, she had a little thing with Andrew, Miss Reese,
Angel Reese. yeah.
Andrew Reese. So what do we think about that as far as that whole ordeal, as far as them two concerned?
I just think that they're extending the rift they had in the NCAA, and now it's being pushed onto the WNBA, or as they say, the W. Um, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I like her game. If she was my daughter, I'd be real excited about her. Angel Reese, I mean, another good player. But I just think that they're reading into the hype and kind of glued into the social media and feeding into all the different divisions amongst themselves. And if you kind of look at it, their game doesn't change when they play different opponents. Caitlin's still going all out. Angel Reese is still playing the game that she plays. It just so happens that they had a foul. Was it a foul that was crazy? I don't think so. And I just think that they're good for the W. I just think that these narratives are being pushed to put them against each other when truly I think they can be the same type of they can get along because there's Angel Reese type players on the Indiana team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's Caitlin Clark players on the Sky team. They get along. They still can gel with each other's personalities and probably be very good friends. But this narrative outside the game is just crazy.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, both good players. To me, it's like it's too forced, like you say. Like
Yeah.
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. To me, I mean, I was young, so maybe I don't remember, but it wasn't like forced on you. And they had like the East Coast, West Coast, Celtics, Lakers, black, white.
Yeah.
They had everything, but it built. It was its own. It was kind of all on
Mhm.
its own, organic. It was
Yeah.
organic. This seems to be like forced, and not even from Caitlin Clark, but I feel like it's Angel Reese is like trying to like force
Yeah.
the issue for her to be something, for
Mhm.
her to be part of that.
Wants to be that Mount Rushmore of the
Something,
W,
yeah,
and
something,
and it's not happening for her only because guess what? She's rebounding, but her point total is not that high, so she can't be the
right.
she. To me, I don't even think she's the best player on the team. So
No, she's not.
and
The other thing too is, and this drives me crazy a little bit. There seems to be a lot of women in the WNBA that like go to like hard foul Caitlin Clark.
Mhm.
Listen, this chick is bringing bazillions of dollars to the WNBA.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to watch her play, and any stadium that she's in. So it's like ride her coattails. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to
Yeah,
like
you have to.
kiss up to her or nothing, but it's like they're like trying to hard foul her, and it's like she's doing you a favor.
She's been out 2 weeks, and they're already the
Can't
numbers
say
are
they're
low.
doing a favor. Don't
What?
say that like that. She's not doing them a favor.
No, but she's bringing up. She's gonna bring up the.
Yeah,
pay,
she's bringing up the
viewerships.
but she's actually good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but she's not doing you a favor because there's a lot of great players in the WNBA.
Yes.
It's just that you cannot choose who is gonna be that person.
Yeah.
Like, like it's almost like you get into a music group. You cannot choose who the consumer is gonna gravitate to.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it just so happens that it's Caitlin Clark, and she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she I love watching her, and but here's the thing: how she moves, how she responds in these press conferences. She's the face of the league because of that. Angel Reese is making herself a victim, and she's not.
Right.
And you have someone like you know, people that want to criticize that, and you have people come to defense, making it black and white. It's not black and white, because if you watch the games, I actually kind of feel like there is some jealousy of Caitlin Clark
Yeah.
from the black players.
Yeah.
There is, and it's okay. It's we understand, we all humans and everything like that, but it is what it is. And like you said, you should ride her coattails, or not even ride her coattails.
Just accept the fact that she's
Just compete,
the
beat her,
person. Yeah.
beat her, just beat her, compete. And we need to understand, and I think that's when we talked about how the NBA is trying to keep alive the legacies of Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell. Let's try to understand how the NBA evolved. You had, when Magic and Bird came in the league, they were already rivals from college, like a Caitlin Clark and Andrew Reese. The dynamic of the black-white probably polarized that rivalry.
Yeah.
The fact that Magic went to LA and Bird was in Boston, it was almost like the basketball gods, like literally, like, you know, Magic Johnson's personality in LA fit LA. Bird's personality in Boston fit Boston. It was like that. So it took the NBA to a level where it was on tape delay versus now they want to see it live. Guess what? It's no coincidence with the basketball gods are working again, where you had two people that were rivalries in college. They come into the women's NBA, and because of their rivalry, it boosted up the NBA. Now, Angel Reese is making it a personal thing, where it should be just a pure competition thing, like Magic and Bird did. Like, it's to a point where I want to beat you, not to like, oh, that was a hard foul. Like, it wasn't. It was a basketball play. But we as black people got to call out Angela Reese for her BS, because she's trying to be this influencer instead of an athlete. She's doing podcasts. She's being shown and all like this, going to all these like galas and all that stuff. And it's like, and where Caitlin Clark is being a Larry Bird. Larry Bird wasn't doing that stuff. Magic was going to all these parties in LA and everything like that. But Angel Reese, you're not Magic.
No.
You know, and you just got to compete. And if you compete, that is going to benefit your brand as well as the WNBA brand. There is no mistake that the fact that the WNBA is starting to make money and starting to gain viewerships because of these two coming in the league. So just keep on competing, get better. I see Caitlin Clark getting better. I don't see Angel Reese getting better.
Yeah, no.
And that has nothing to do with her black or white. It has nothing to do. It's about basketball.
Her skills.
You know, that's all it is. And she needs to stop crying. If y'all this tough girl, you want to be this villain, stop crying. So, you know, I don't see Caitlin Clark crying when she's getting beat up.
And it's every game. Every game she's getting targeted. And but what needs to happen, and these two girls have definitely bring bigger audiences to the arenas. I really love that. But the WNBA problem is they need more teams, and so they're working on it. But until they get probably 6 more teams, it's pretty much going to stay the way it is. And how many players that you see that were cut this season or before the season started, and now they're already signed with international teams and they're going overseas to play. But top ranked college players are getting cut on these WNBA teams. There's not enough slots. So, I mean, to me, I can't wait until it happens. But the Sun possibly could be moving to Boston.
Oh, really?
And that goes back to the Wahlberg family and someone else. They want to put a team in Boston, so they're right there, ready to purchase a team, and the Sun is offered a team up for sale. So that would be perfect.
I think that you got to have these NBA teams be in major cities for it to make money.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that if you get the right investors, Is like I enjoy watching the girls play.
Yeah, I do.
I
too.
really do, because I think they play the right way, versus the boys or the good boys, but the guys, it's like I don't like how the guys play, and you can see the competition. Like this, like some of these girls don't like each other.
Yeah.
And we like seeing that, what I'm saying, because we like this, because at the end of the day, what makes sports so intriguing is the competition. It's not the personalities of the players, it's them competing. We want to see that competition. And I think that the WNBA, if they stick to that formula, that it will grow just like the NBA did when it was Bird and Magic.
Yeah. So I feel I'm going to disagree with Charlie a little bit. Like, I don't know that they're ready to go bigger.
Mhm.
I don't know that they're ready for more franchise. And I only say that because, they got to be so good that, you got to tune in to watch them play. If it's watered down a little bit, are you going to get that, because the reason why they're not making so much money, because they don't have like the viewership, right? It just comes down to dollars, right?
Well, they will have it because some of the cities they're talking about, St. Louis, Boston, one of
But
the
people still
cities
have to
in
go to the
Texas.
games. They still have to go to the games and watch them on TV. You know what I mean?
And I think they will do it. Well, in Boston they will. As a Boston fan, they're going to show up. They show up when.
Yeah, I mean, Boston
losing.
is one of those cities that could handle it. But I mean,
yeah, it's. I hope it happens. I hope there's some more teams coming up in the next couple of years. Only because when it comes to playing professional basketball, you only have a small window. So if the windows the windows of the WNBA are closed, then they have to play internationally. Things,
right?
I like to keep things in the United States and see more of that. Playing overseas could be good. I've talked to a few players that played. Marcus Holtman loved going overseas.
Right.
Playing. He got major great stories, but I like to see a little bit more teams in the WNBA, and I respect what you're saying wholeheartedly. So,
all right. Hold on one second. Let's get into this next topic. I'm just putting in the. We're gonna talk about the Diddy trial.
Diddy trial.
Yeah. Hold on. All right. This Diddy trial is becoming a thing. Me and Charlie and I were before we got here earlier. Charlie, you have a take on this trial. What do you think?
I think that the trial and everything that's being seen and shown as evidence, or things that the jury can see, is just it's all domestic related. And when it comes to sex trafficking, I don't think that there's much of it being shown or produced to get that conviction. I think when it comes to Cassie, she was finally beat up, and her choice of professions, the oldest profession in the world, had something to do with it. But I truly think that this case is domestic related, domestic violence related. And I have some opinions from other people all over social media that kind of agree with me, that we all agree with the same thing. They're showing domestic violence. Yeah, she was beat up pretty badly. To show the other stuff, I don't think there's enough on the table to get a conviction, and that's just my opinion.
So you think he's gonna get off all this?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
What do you think?
I mean, so we're gonna talk about politics after, right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about politics in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna use this analogy real quick, because I read a lot, try to keep up with the trial, right?
Yeah.
I read a lot shit that I see on Facebook or whatever, right? Scrolling or whatever, different articles, and sometimes I'll read the comments. I read the comments to try to like get a gist of how people are feeling about it, right? And much like politics, there's people on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are women that, you know, oh my God, Cassie's a victim, and then there are women that be like, bullshit, like, you know. So
Yeah.
there's people that we, you know, that you like both sides, and they're going on two different directions, and sometimes I don't know what to believe. I don't know which way to go. To be honest, I only say politics because you know, it's the same thing in politics, right? There's people that you both like, and they both on opposite sides. So,
And those are the same type people that are in the jury. So what do you
right,
think's going to happen?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You know?
I don't know. So it's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I've been following ABC News and their podcast, you know, with the P. Diddy trial, and they're analyzing it every day. They're in the courtroom, and they give a lot of insight on it, and it's great, you know, and that's what I like. I like to check that out every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I sit there and I'm like, I feel like she was a victim. Like I'm big on,
Yeah, no doubt.
like
I'm
women
right there with
and
you.
their protection and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm leaning that way. But then I see, like, then I see and I hear other stories, and I'm like, you know, could she have gotten out of that? Like, was she really afraid for her life? Violence through Diddy if
Mhm.
she tried to step away.
Yeah.
And you know, I know there was probably like a lot of drugs involved, which makes her easy to manipulate. Is that,
Mhm.
you know, right? So, but some of the text messages and the shit that we see doesn't help her out.
No,
Like, doesn't help her cause. You know what I'm saying?
it's she kind of weighed the scales, or weighed what she was going to do. Well, do I want to play house with them today
Right.
and not play house with them next week? You know, it's just they're in the same boat, and I think that she can easily be a defendant just like he is.
Yeah. And so the other thing too is, like, you know, I was reading something where, like, you know, she cheated on some dude with Diddy. She cheated on Diddy. Like, so, like, her character could be coming to question too.
Yeah,
So it's not like just some innocent woman that's kind of getting it, taking advantage. So she has character problems too, I feel.
yeah, it's gonna.
So, you know what I mean?
And that's where, like, like me and Charlie was having this conversation. Is Cassie a victim? Yes, she's definitely a victim. Did he be accountable? Yes, he should be accountable. But we cannot ignore the fact of the choices that Cassie made before this, not during. Everybody wants to be reactive versus proactive. And she made decisions when you, like, Derek, I want to, like, I asked Charlie this, and I'm going to ask you the same question. If you meet a girl, right, and that girl cheats, and she has a man, and she cheats on her man to go with you, as a man, is that going to be behind your mind? Like, can you fully trust her? Do you respect her? Do you?
Absolutely not. Like, if you cheated on some dude, like, with me,
To get with me,
you're gonna do the same thing to me. And actually, I wouldn't do that if I knew you had a man. But if she did, like, I didn't know, all right, you know what I'm saying? Out at the bar or whatever.
so let's talk about that psychology, because a lot of people don't want to. A lot of people, especially women, don't care about how men feel or how men think.
Yeah.
And I'm not making excuses for Diddy, okay? But we got to think about it. So you cheated on your man, and this was a good man that was treating you right. I actually met you because of him.
Right.
Okay. Her first album was produced of this man who you left. So he's the one is giving you opportunities. And because I'm Diddy, you cheated on me, I was able to get you.
Hold on. Is this the same? This is her husband now?
No, there's a
Oh,
different guy.
Okay.
It's a different guy. All right. So Ryan Leslie,
Yeah.
who he is a big,
Yeah.
he got money too. He's
Yeah,
a very intelligent. He graduated from Harvard at a very young age. Like, he's a very intelligent guy.
So she made a decision.
She made
a decision to head down a path.
Mhm.
Yes. So people don't want to talk about that psychology of it. So now Diddy, who is egotistical already, I think I don't want to use a term narcissist, because it's a mental term that, you know, I'm not a professional to even categorize something like that. But we can say.
But I think so. Yeah.
So So you got someone who has that big ego, who's in a power. He doesn't want to look stupid. You don't think he's insecure to a point where I got you to leave him? Who says that you don't leave me for somebody else who you deem is better? Right? Y'all thinking that. So now for me to feel comfortable, for me to feel I'm going to manipulate you, however wrong it is. I'm going to manipulate you. I'm going to try in ways to control you. You know, I'm going to treat you like you presented yourself because you cheated on me with another guy. So how do you think that he looks at Cassie?
Right.
This is how men think.
Yeah.
Women don't think that like we don't care. We just don't express how we care. Because if we express how we care about things like that, oh, you're a simp, you're insecure. These are words that they use. And I think that his insecurities, this is how he deals with his insecurities. Now I'm going to dominate you. I'm going to do this to control you in a certain aspects so I can deal with my insecurities, which is wrong. It became abusive.
Yeah, but I don't think he did that to Cassie because you know, Cassie cheated on, you know, I think he was looking for someone probably all along, and she was the one because of who she is. He couldn't get away with that with J-Lo, or he could, you know what I mean? Someone with a more secure, you can't get away with it, right? You know, like you seek out your victims, right? Because they have a certain temperament or they have a certain way about them that allow you to.
Yeah.
Right. She's that person.
But but why is she that person? For men of us three that want to protect women, why was she that person? Why would she make that choice? And that's instead of she is a victim and making excuses for her. For the little girls that's coming up in society today, let's have that conversation. So when they're in that room with a person of Diddy's stature, you're not making decisions.
Yeah, 19 years old.
Yeah, you're not making decisions for the same reason she is, to put you in a position that somebody's going to take advantage of you because they're human and they're going to like abuse their power that you gave them. And it's not, and like I don't know. That's how I look.
So let me just you know, the 19 years old just came up, right? And I just thought of something. Like, where was her mom at that?
These are questions that need to be asked.
At 19 years old, right? Because I just honestly, if 19 years old, if you're going to Hollywood to be an actress or a singer or whatever, like, yo, don't you have a chaperone at 19 years old? Don't you have someone like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm gonna tell. Like, I had a conversation, someone who we all know, and I'm not gonna say his name at all, but we all know that he was in that realm of entertainment. And we was having a conversation, and he said that, Berto, you'd be very surprised how you have the mothers tell them to go there.
Yeah.
They'll be with them.
Yeah.
This exists, right?
Yeah. Sad.
So it's and this is where we as men gotta protect our women, not just only physically, but lead them mentally. Because I was telling Charlie, we had a long conversation.
Yeah, we did. Huh?
We as men,
before the show,
we see more of the ugly in society than what women do. Like you as I gave an analogy where I gave an analogy as Charlie being a police officer. Most police officers are what? Men. It's not a career. It's not like there's no women police officers,
right.
But majority of police officers are men. So comparison to your wife, his wife didn't see the craziness of society as a police officer. So he, as a man, like most guys are in the that's in the military or police officers, they see the ugly in society that most women don't see and they take for granted. There's ugly people out there. You know, there's some messed up people out there. And we as men see it every single day. So when we try to give women advice, you'd be like, yo, I bring that up to say this is not where Cassie's mother was. Where was her dad? To really guide her to watch out for these motherfuckers, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it, because that's the first step for protecting women, though we should. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there was Cassie's decision to cheat on her boyfriend with Diddy created an insecurity to Diddy that he probably couldn't handle.
Yeah, her and another girl, they bought burner phones, so Diddy couldn't get to him. It was something like that. I remember there was he was checking her phone, so they ended up getting another phone just to have contact with other people, other males. I don't know, but um, it's mom's coming around now and supporting her. But I agree with you. With my son-in-law, we go back and forth, and especially with Derek mentioned about a topic that we should talk about today, and about the violence in New Bedford. But son-in-law mentioned about where the parents, right? And you're bringing it up. Where are the parents? Where are the parents in these situations to say, or to kind of just guide them from not being in certain situations, certain areas, certain positions. And yeah, Dad, why was you out of the picture? I don't know. Mom was always in the picture. But I truly believe that
Now, I'm not blaming the mother, but when it comes to like men in general, we men can really analyze men better than women can. Just like women can analyze women better than men can.
yeah,
So for your daughter is going to choose somebody, you literally got to be, but you also got to know your daughter. You got to know who she is to give her the right advice. Some people are not that much in their daughter's lives, and they don't even know who their daughter is. So they're making a decision on a perception that she's giving her dad. You know what I'm saying? That could be wrong advice because you really don't know your daughter.
Yeah.
It's being a parent is tough. And I'm not saying that is the end all be all, but I think that is a conversation had to really have and put out there, instead of like, oh, it was all Diddy's fault. It's all Diddy's fault. Diddy was much more older. He groomed her. Let me ask you this. Bill Belichick is engaged to a 24-year-old. Who's grooming who? Who's manipulating who? Is it Bill Belichick manipulating her, or is she at 24 years old manipulating Bill
I think
Belichick?
that works out for both of them. They're both manipulating each other, I guess.
In what way? Like I
mean,
just want to try to understand you.
Well, my rationale is kind of like, he dangles money to get a beautiful woman to hang out with him, right? And she's after the money, and she hangs out with our old
so they're both getting what they both want.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're both getting a piece of something. Right?
So isn't that the same in the Diddy thing? Isn't that the same in the Shannon Sharpe thing?
Yep, I mean, possibly. So yeah, so that's the thing too, is with Cassie, is like, there are some women that like love to have sex, which nothing wrong with that, but she sees a piece of her, to me, like, seems like she wanted to be involved with
the lifestyle,
that whole lifestyle.
She's not. If you went there and as a moral and nice guy that you are, you think she's doing that there for you? No. Why not?
Because I don't have money. Like, I don't have the money to flaunt around. And, you know what I'm saying?
But
like,
that's
exactly
right.
But
that's a
and that was
fucking
an
good
honest
reel,
answer.
man.
It wasn't a trick question. I just want to say it's true.
It's true.
And because you made that decision, you put yourself in a predicament where it's not your fault that you got abused. It's not your fault that this person manipulates you. But it's your fault. Your decision put you in that decision for someone to do that. And I don't want that to happen to
I feel like she enjoyed it until she didn't. You know what I'm saying? She was enjoying that lifestyle until she didn't. And then she was going down a path where Diddy was getting probably more abusive, more because he could, right? And I said this before, like, when you do things because you can sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You know who you can get over on and who you can't, right?
Now you're in a relationship with an abusive person, right? Okay, they broke up before. And when they broke up, she quickly gets in another relationship. if that's like, yo, is that what you should be doing? Or you should be healing yourself? So now y'all in a and y'all quickly just out of a relationship which you deem abusive, and now you're probably still messing around with Diddy, because when people break, they don't do a clean break. It's a
So
process.
yeah, but why would you go back if you are in an abusive relationship? Like, why would you go back? And I listen. So I personally know some women that have been in abusive relations, and I get it. I hear the story. It's very difficult to get out of
It
that.
is.
sometimes,
It
right?
is. It is.
But my question is, when you get out of that, like, damn, what brings you back there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because aren't you judging, like, okay, yeah, we had some good times and I got my ass kicked. Like, what's the rationale to go back?
So look at this scenario. So now we started that she cheated on her man to get with Diddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Then she leaves Diddy, right? And she jumps into somebody else's arm, which was, I think it was like Kid Cudi or something like that, right? Quickly. To only go back to him to cheat on Diddy. I don't know if he cheated on Diddy with the who she is with now.
Yeah.
But when she went with him, she went back to Diddy, and she was actually FaceTiming him while she's having sex with Diddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in Diddy's mind, right? We're all saying Diddy's a monster. But her choices that she's making, going back and forth and being with men so quick and cheating on this one, cheating on that one, y'all creating some of that monster in Diddy. You're building up his insecurities, but nobody cares about how he feels, because he's the aggressor, because he has the advantage, because we're stronger, because we're physically stronger. Yes, we should be held accountable to our advantage, but we also going to be accountable of our choices. Not whatever happened to Cassie, she should never get an abuse, and Diddy should be accountable for it 100%. But how do we help stop women be in relationships like this? The way your choices.
Damn, that's a good question, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great question.
Because
when you find that answer, I want to know.
It's having conversations like this.
Yeah.
It's having conversations with your daughter about it, and being your daughter's life, and really understanding who your daughter is. And when she brings a guy around, you're like, yo, he ain't it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We have this.
It's like, it's protecting women. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. And not have your daughter have a mindset was like, because she's better off with Derek, but she's gonna go with Diddy because he's a multi-billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was a wrong choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I understand that he can provide a lifestyle with you. So, but if somebody's providing a lifestyle with you, it's not out of the goodness of his heart. There's things that he wants.
Right.
And that's where it's like I don't know. I seem very passionate about this because I feel bad for Cassie, because she should not go through that. It's not fair she go that. There's not an excuse to go like that. But you don't have an excuse for the decisions you're making, putting yourself in that position. You're creating an insecurity in a man, and a man is gonna be like,
And I truly believe in my heart, in my profession, that the only reason why she's testifying is because she could have clearly been a defendant.
Oh yeah.
And she chose, well, she said, all right, I'll testify, because her situation with him and her was already settled in a civil suit, right?
Yep.
So I think they hashed out their differences. To me, it's kind of like a business situation, right? She said, look, you did a lot to me, you still owe me. And he said, look, boom, 10 million, whatever he gave her.
20 million, yeah.
Yeah. But I think truly that she's only testifying because the prosecution had enough to say, you can be right there in trial with Diddy.
You could be part of the RICO charge.
And you can actually go through.
She was calling the people, right?
Yeah.
She was getting the people to come across state lines.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Epstein's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Look, she's in jail.
Yeah.
But guess what? There's no defendant. There's nobody that actually raped these girls, right? He's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So how's she still in jail? I don't get it. Aaron Hernandez, guess what? He's not a murderer.
Well, she's probably still in jail because she was part of the whole.
But she didn't rape anybody.
She knew it.
but she knew it. She's not. I don't think she's. I don't know. I don't think she's in there for the rape of these women. I think that her pot and to help him rape these women.
Yeah.
So that's she is like would have been Cassie. Cassie, you help trafficking these people to come in.
Mhm.
You got these people to come in. You like that, and you know, I think she got immunity. Now she's done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She got 2 bites of the apple. I got him
So
for
Charlie made a good point. And listen, Diddy could go to jail. Diddy could rot in jail, and it's probably a good place for him.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I saw the video. You know, him beating up a woman. You know, go spend the rest of your life in jail. But when I listened to the trial, like, you know, like using all those baby oil, like that's not against the law.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the stuff that you hear that goes on, like the sexual stuff and that he does to himself. I mean, that's not really breaking the law. He's got a fetish, or he's you know.
Bert will talk about it earlier. You know, that's their lifestyle. That's the entertainment world. You know.
Right.
And so this is the game that they play. You know, and they're playing it. And but
just
hitting a woman is the quickest way to go to jail for a year.
Oh, hell.
Right?
What is it?
Hitting a woman is the quickest way to go to jail for a year, instantly, without without you bringing up any defense or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You're staying for a year.
Yeah.
And if she says she hit you and you didn't, you're already guilty.
Yeah.
You have to prove your innocence because she said that's how much power in that charge is.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's deemed fair, but I understand why it is the way it is, because we do need to protect women because so we're much physically stronger than them. But at the same time, if they're making that accusation, they could ruin our lives.
Right. So I mean, listen, you're right, but there are so many men that abuse women.
Oh yeah.
So they kind of have to take that stance. But now some women take advantage of that and call the cops for like no reason.
Yeah, I lived in a house where my dad abused my mom. You know,
me too.
Every time I seen him, so it every time he came to visit us, guess what? Mom probably got a hit once or twice. You know, but it's so domestic violence is something I definitely felt and throughout my life, in many stages, and so
I just feel like we shouldn't ignore how men feel. We're not allowed to feel, and when you don't allow a men to feel, you're creating monsters, in my opinion. You know, because again, I'm not excusing it, because we need to be able to control ourselves. That's our responsibility.
even Diddy's family is, you know, they were disgusted and embarrassed that they walked out of the courthouse. They didn't. There was some disgust on their face of some of the things that were being said. You know, that's their mom, that's their dad, and some of the things that he done, it's definitely got them hurt. But they're also going to defend him too. You know, so.
But what I think what Charlie's saying also too is when you're saying he's gonna get off, it has nothing to do with Cassie and what he did to Cassie. It has to do. He's getting charged with RICO and sex trafficking. Maybe the sex trafficking they might be able to get him on.
Yeah.
You want to hear a funny story? They talking about that. One of the escorts, the Punisher. You hear about that guy?
A little bit.
I actually danced with him. I know who he is. Really? Yes. Back in the day, yo, like I know who he is.
Really?
Yeah, it was so funny. I called a guy that I used to dance with back in the day. I was like, yo, the Punisher's on CNN right now. And it was him. I was like, oh, shit. You know, and so I mean,
so you could have been close to Cassie calling you up.
Listen, she's beautiful, but I'll be right there snitching like a motherfucker. he did it, Your Honor. He did it. Like that old Bernie Mac clip. Yo. He did it. I tried to call you, but the line was busy. Yeah. But I think he is going to get off just because not of the domestic stuff. I think because of a RICO charge. That might be too much. Like they're like, there was an incident in the courthouse that I was listening to podcasts talking about where they were so going in on this baby oil, that the judge was like, all right, enough with the baby oil.
Yeah. What does it have anything?
What does it have to do anything?
So
Like this is a RICO sex trafficking charge.
And they're throwing all these old things, these old assaults that were never reported or filed complaints against. They're kind of dirtying up the waters during the trial with a lot of these things that they're talking about. You know, the baby oil, and they're bringing all that up, and what was I going to say? So they're dirtying up the waters, and all that does is distract the jury or give the jury a picture of a bad man, right? You know, with the old cases, this domestic. You know, domestic is 2016 is 2025. Why is it bringing up now compared to when you decided to arrest him? What made you arrest that man and put him in jail? What incident bring it to over the top for you to arrest him? And I think what it was Cassie coming forward and saying, all right, I'll testify. But I still don't see other people coming forward around the table.
You're not seeing a trend here. You're not seeing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing enough to put that man away for the rest of his life. Beating her up, yeah, I see that. Yeah, guess what? Go to jail for a while. Go ahead.
But that's not what he's getting charged for.
That's what he's not getting charged with.
So, and that's where, like, but the prosecution is trying to discredit him in the court of public opinion. Could it be? It could end up just being time served. Because I think they could legit get him for sex trafficking.
Yeah,
and it might be just time served. But then that's a Pandora box to open towards the entertainment business, because Diddy ain't the only one doing shit.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that, and this is my thought. Like you talk about like Epstein. Okay, everyone wants like, you know, yo, show me the list of Epstein, right? Show me all of this. There's a ton of people in Hollywood that I feel like doing some crazy stuff that they should be in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they go after Diddy? Did they go after Diddy to like shield the upper echelon of important people, if you will? Does that make any sense to you?
Well, they talk about Diddy and Epstein and that they're billionaires in the same state, in the same city. How didn't they not meet each other? Of course, they met each other in parties, in and out, and maybe they ran into the same type of circles. So maybe the list that Epstein has, Diddy has also. And this guy talked about it on one of the New York City podcasts, and he was talking about that. And he says that, you know, they're billionaires. You know, they definitely ran into each other, and maybe Diddy has the list that he has. You know, I don't know. But there's a lot of rotten people we're watching every day, you know.
Right. Like you know, Harvey Weinstein comes to mind. Like, so I just feel like when I thought this when they first went after him, like, are they going after him to like shield or to like, you do something just to kind of protect people?
I think he pissed off the wrong person.
Yeah, something. I'm saying,
yeah,
it's something.
Who it was, I don't know.
You know, and
they say it's a liquor company, but you know, maybe.
Let me ask you this. Could you ever charge Hugh Hefner with sex trafficking?
I mean, if it's the same thing, if he brought him over the lines and stuff.
I just think that is like these. It's the industry.
I think it's the industry. I'm not, I don't want to make an excuse. Oh, it's the industry, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not defending Hugh Hefner over Diddy. I'm not doing that neither. But what I'm saying is, clearly Cassie was calling these people, yo, come have sex. Right. Yeah. So that is sex trafficking. Was you saying, yo, come live in my house and we'll, you know what I'm saying? Lifestyle. You know what I mean? Okay, fine. And then whatever happened. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another story. Because he had Playboy Bunny. Hugh Hefner had Playboy bunnies.
Yeah.
Coming from all over the place, and then moving to his mansion.
Right. So it's not, you know what I mean? It might not have been like a direct link to like come here for sex, like Cassie making those calls. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's just another. I mean, they do it an underlining way. Hey,
Yeah.
you got a
Now,
nice gentleman coming over. Maybe this will be good for your career.
Yeah.
let me ask
Show 'em some
this:
good
when we
time.
talk about like Cassie testifying and getting immunity, now if it's illegal to hire somebody across state lines to have sex, isn't it illegal to be hired from somebody across state lines to have sex?
Yeah, it's still the same thing.
So
If
it's
you,
yes. So these the escort, the Punisher came on, right? And he's actually from New York, so maybe they didn't do it from state lines unless he was a state lines. But they had pictures of all the escorts that was from different states. So couldn't the prosecution charge these escorts
they,
for the same trafficking?
they can. The only willingness. I mean, that's the key. The key is willingness. They're willing to come in and testify and say that they did it for Diddy or they did it for somebody else. So that's usually when you get your pass. All right, you testify.
You
We
made a
won't
statement. Yeah,
visit that
that
charge.
part.
We won't visit that.
Yeah.
But we need you to
Yeah.
testify.
It's like a drug dealer. They go.
Yeah.
They might let the little guy go so they can get the big guy.
The big
Right?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's what they're trying to make it as is, but it's just a lifestyle and like, and I feel like he may get off on that charge if the jury's sitting there and they're like, that's what entertainers do.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like they could say that is like, well, we're gonna put them away for something that the whole entertainment thing is doing.
I mean, they're people our age, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've seen the same stuff we've seen. They're in the jury box. They're making decisions, and you want them to make a decision based on fact, but they also have perceptions. The old saying used to say on the wind down part, perception is your reality.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're gonna have all these perceptions trying to make that decision, and then boom, they're making it.
Oh, they did a great
can't,
job
or they
creating
can't.
like Diddy,
Yeah.
this monster.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job on that, and yeah, he did some fucked up shit. Like I'm not trying to make it. I just want to get into the deep in conversations, so things don't happen to Cassie, to these girls growing up. Because we're living in a society where it's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
This money thing,
yeah.
I just don't like it. You know what I'm
People
saying?
chase it. People chase it all the
People
time.
chase it, and they make bad decisions off of money.
Yeah.
They're
You know?
showing everything their mom and dad gave them on OnlyFans, and it's all for the
Yeah.
money.
And it's making millionaires.
Yeah.
It's making millionaires. And if they're not making millions, they're gonna accuse a millionaire that they got sexually assaulted to get those millions.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy. After they entice them with that body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I can show my body. I can do all that until you don't want to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got to change the mindset of society, and I don't know. I believe in protecting women, but and I'm not demonizing women at all. I want to protect you, but can you help us do it? Is that fair to ask?
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Being a girl dad is the toughest thing in the world,
scary,
and until you trust,
how you feel?
Yeah.
until you trust that man, and in this
Yeah.
case, in the world's case, man or woman, until you trust that person as a dad, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
You can worry and
Oh.
worry and worry, but once you get that trust and you trust who they're with, then it's you begin to exhale and say, all right, I'm comfortable. That man, that woman's going to protect my kid. And until that happens, man, you think about all the different things.
That's why I believe in like women, like as little girls, you want the little girls to speak their mind. So let them speak. Don't teach them to shut up. Like let them speak. Let them be comfortable how they feel. Especially to a man. Don't dominate them, because when they're growing up and they're in a relationship and they're already mentally trained to shut up and take
Right.
whatever. No, like if you're not feeling something, because I had a conversation too where women think that we think like them, where we're like very aware of everything. Like we read the room, we don't. We're not like that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to tell us what you want from us, and we'll learn by you telling us. women are like, you know, you didn't know that? No, you didn't tell me. Why do I need to tell you? What do you mean? Why you don't need to tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't notice my facial expressions? No.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna focus on who I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Is if the woman's here, I'm gonna focus on her.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about what Derek and Berto over there talking about, you know. And I just not. I get it, but
Like women are like that because they're nurturers. Like women can really look at a baby and know what's wrong with them and everything. We're not like that. We're stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? You need to tell us. Tell me directly what you need, and I will do it for you. And I will learn by what you tell me, not what I may think or what it perceived or like. We're not like women. Women, that's their superpower. They could like, oh, that's the type of brand you get for your razors.
Yeah.
They pay attention to that shit. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. It's just how we are. So it's like, I don't know.
But can I say one thing about what Charlie brought up, being a girl dad?
Mhm.
The other day, my daughter went on a date.
Okay, how'd that go?
She's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, she's about to turn 22 in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, Dad, I'm going on a date. So, you know, her and I have a great relationship. But
Yeah.
as soon as she said that, like I like shifted into like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
dad. You know what I'm saying?
Having those conversations.
I'm like, honey, don't leave your drink alone. Because I don't know this dude.
Yeah.
You hear stories all the time about dudes like date rape, the drug pill, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Honey, don't leave your drink. If you go to the bathroom, take it with you. Go to the bathroom when you're done with the drink, get a new whatever. Like, cause I'm, you know, because I don't know this dude.
Yeah, buy your drinks together at the bar.
Yeah, right,
Mhm.
right.
That person with the person.
Yep.
You know, hey, you want a drink? Yeah, let's go get one. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
do those things because, you know, that short walk from the bar to the table. Guess what? Anything can happen.
Oh, you see it all the time. You
You
hear stories all the time.
yeah.
Date rape.
Yeah, you want a drink? I'll go get you a drink. No, you go with him.
Yeah, right.
What's
know
your
what I'm
daughter
saying?
have? A
You
blue
go
drink,
with him.
What's that?
right? Didn't she have blue martini or something? What was that she was drinking?
Oh, with
Yeah,
me?
Yeah,
we put on
you and her.
social media.
Yeah, she had a martini.
yeah. So the color in that, guess
Yeah,
what?
geez,
You
yeah.
throw some powder in there.
Yeah.
Guess what? You ain't gonna never see
You're
it.
never gonna see it.
Yep.
And these are things that we see as men. We, you know what I'm saying, where we hear as men that maybe women, they hear these things, but not on a level of what we see. You know,
Because they're in love with the man that's next to them.
Well, I
right?
also
Or
think-
cares about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
They want to
you
believe.
and I, we're thinking
Logical.
way ahead of game. You
Yeah,
know,
we're not
like,
in our emotions just
Yeah.
yet. We're not in our emotions. We're
Yeah, but no one ever thinks it's gonna happen to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that
Till it does.
walking across the street and getting hit by a guy, no one ever thinks it's kind of gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
But as a dad, I feel like, you know, I'm very overprotective of my kids.
Hell yeah, I
You know
don't
what I'm
blame
saying?
you.
So it's like, you know, you always want to like,
Yep.
you know,
you see your daughter as, oh, she's such a sweet, kind, compassionate,
I cannot
wonderful
get her.
person,
Yeah.
you know, and guess what? She's probably that same type of person for this guy that's
Right.
taking her on a date. So her God would be sweet and kind, and you know, she can get distracted or not
Right.
see things. So hey, like I said, being a girl dad, hey, you know what? The funniest thing about a girl is you only have one daughter, right?
Mm.
And back then you had your ex-wife, right? I had PMS every day of the month,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody had a different cycle.
Yeah.
Like that, right? So week 1, week 2, week 3,
Yeah.
week 4. Guess what? I couldn't get away from it. You know, had to pay attention to that. Being a girl dad sucks. However, my girls are gonna take care of me. I'm not worried about when I get old
Yeah.
and gray.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there. I don't care what it is. And
Because
They-
they are
they-
the best nurturers out of the
oh yeah,
gender.
yeah.
Like we guys are just very simple.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we're just very simple. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with this DD trial. We got a lot more. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more coming down the pike of, you know, and see what happens. But as of right now, you know, I agree with Charlie. I think that I think he at worst he'll get time served, but I could be wrong. I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
We don't know how the jury is gonna look at it. All right, let's get into the next
Time served, some probation.
Probation,
The probation that they'll lengthen it out
Yeah.
So it can seem like a sentence, like
Yeah.
5 years probation.
Yeah.
You know,
And it has some type of influence or control over him. So,
yeah.
you know, he might have to do some counseling and all that other stuff, but we'll see. All right, next, we're getting to politics. We haven't talked about politics in so long.
Yeah.
Trump's on a roll, man. What's up with these Trump pardons and giving 59 South Africans citizenship and all the other things that's going on? Like, let's talk about these pardons. What do you think about these pardons? I mean, who wants to go first?
Good, Charlie.
The pardons, it's I'm absorbing all of this stuff, right? Everything that he's possibly doing, I'm absorbing it because I finally come to the realization that this isn't Make America Great Again. This is the revenge tour. This is Donald J. Trump's revenge tour. So everything that he possibly said he's going to do as part of his revenge, he's going to do it. In the case of all these pardons, guess what? Some of these people that he's pardoning are capable people to kind of throw $1 million here, 2 million here, whatever it may be. They can throw. Even our Kennedy threw him $100,000 and got his job. The thing is that they have the capabilities to make a donation to the president of the United States, directly or indirectly, and the pardons are worth it. And nothing means more to him than money and power, and he has it. So this is all part of a revenge tour. And as far as the South Africans coming, that's 59 people. And he feels that, all right, I'm gonna bring these 59 people to the country. Meanwhile, I just deported 259 people. You know what? I don't care. They can come. Whatever he's doing, the pardons are suck. Even what's his name, Hoover. I think that guy should be in jail, but he's getting out. However, there's another story with it. You know, I got to read more about
He's
it.
not getting out of, I think he got. I want to say he got the federal charges pardon, but he's dealing with the state charges.
Exactly. Yes, I just heard that earlier today. Yeah.
He's not claiming.
Yeah.
He's not getting out of jail.
So if anything, he gets released, he's gonna end up going to jail. And there's a few others, but I just think I'm able to absorb all this stuff, that all these pardons, because I just think it's part of the revenge, and he's gonna do what he said he was gonna do as far as these people, and they're here. That's it.
Gee, what you got to think, bro?
I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you. I haven't paid attention to much politics lately.
Okay.
I feel like coming through like the winter, I was just exhausted with it.
Yeah.
You know, watch like bits and pieces. So I know what's going on a little bit, but I don't like tune in like I used to.
Yeah.
As far as like the 59 people from South Africa, South Africa, right? I wouldn't have brought those people over here. Like, I feel like if you're gonna like shut the border down, if you're gonna get rid of illegal citizens, like if that's your way,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I don't think you need to bring those people in here. That's just my opinion. But I mean, he did. I mean,
And one already got in trouble in Virginia. He killed someone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I wouldn't have done that. I don't know what his rationale was. I don't know if he felt like it was a small amount of people that were having a hard time in South Africa, as opposed to like these other countries where it's like the majority of the people. Like, we can't bring in everyone. We've had this conversation when we cannot save the world and bring everyone here. So I don't know if he was like, well, it's only a small portion of these farmers or what have you that are really in trouble, so I'll rescue them, where you really can't do that to other countries because you'd be rescuing the whole country. So I don't know, but I'm not in favor of it. I feel like if you're going to shut the border, you should shut it to everyone.
Yeah, you don't know if they have any kind of affiliation with Elon Musk, his friend, and
I think he do.
Maybe, what, my friends are in trouble in South Africa. Maybe we need to get them here. And,
possible.
I mean, we over the fall and over the winter, we talked about how much money Elon Musk is possibly spending on behalf of the president of the Republican Party. It's that's a huge amount of money, and so maybe just making a quick phone call and say, hey, and I got 59 people that need to come here. And when you kind of look at it, you know, your family's over 59 people. You know, it may be just a family that needs that help, you know. But
It's almost like the reason why he gave him the censorship, like, oh, because they're getting murdered as a genocide, isn't why everybody else is coming to this country. Isn't the reason why the Mexicans are coming to this country. And I got it. For the same thing, because to have a better life, because their family or they're getting killed and everything like that. So you show empathy through them, but there's no empathy for the people who is just trying to escape a bad life. That's not fair. And it's like, and it's like, I feel like the administrations, they're saying half truths to make it seem like it's almost like, for an example, like this bill, this the big beautiful bill. Oh, no taxes on tips. Okay, no taxes on tips. I don't know about you, how many people actually report their tips that they get? Okay, and when you do, is up to 25,000,
mhm.
and then that's it. But now they know that you get tipped. It's almost trying to get people to report the extra income to getting so they can tax it. You're not really helping the people out.
Yeah, but I feel there are a lot of waitresses or waiters that like that they're not getting taxed on tips. They're in the industry.
But there's a cap on it.
Yeah, 25,000.
So let me ask you, what wages are getting taxed on tip now?
The ones that you report.
Well, who let's really understand. Do you really think people are reporting their tips?
Well, I mean, I'm not in that industry,
Mm-hmm.
but do some people report tips so it shows that they're making money so they can get a loan or what have you? Right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you'll report, like, say it's, I get $200 worth of tips. You know, maybe they're saying, all right, I get $100.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably doing that.
Right.
Most of them, majority of them, they're gonna say something to make it believable. You know,
right.
and but I truly think that every waitress and waiter, um, that tip money is allowing them to survive throughout the week, you know,
Right.
during the week. You know, so I think that money is something that's good, and it's something that we're giving. It's our generosity as a customer giving it to them.
Right.
You know, it's no different than someone on the street, a panhandle. I decide to give them $1 or $5 or something. That's our generosity. And you know, the thing about the panhandling, they said, "Hey, you got any spare change?" They say that's a freedom of speech. You know, that's why they can say that, and that's why they can be that, and they ask money for money. In this case, with the tips, guess what? It's our generosity that's giving them that money.
It's a charity.
And you go ahead, yeah. And
They
no
don't
different,
tax
yeah.
charity.
So it's no different than if I give it to United Way. United Way is going to do and spend it any way they want,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or if I decide to, you know, go down to the Boys Club or Denison Memorial and pay for, well, nowadays they don't really have memberships or the Y, whatever. That's my generosity. I'm giving it to that person. I'm giving it to them, paying it forward.
I believe that, you know how they like implement stuff and they put extra stuff in bills. And did this. I think there's extra things in this bill, but they're camouflaging it with the whole feeling of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. But there's other stuff in there that, what the fuck? No Medicare? Like you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like a tax cut for the rich, or like I could have sworn, I don't even know it's true, so don't quote me on this, where there's in the bill where the executive branch of the government doesn't have to abide by the Supreme Court's judgment.
Mhm.
Like things of that nature. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but
Yeah,
I've
that
heard
something
that
came
too.
out like that.
And in my opinion about these pardons is the fact that, like, why are you doing this right now? There's much more important things that we need to be paying attention to than, but I feel like, again, it's a smokescreen for something else that they're doing. That
Oh, it's a race. He has until 2026 to things are going his way right now, only because he has that
Republican.
majority vote,
Yeah.
right? 2026, maybe it will change, maybe it won't. But in his eyes, in the Republicans' eyes, is that look, we have the leverage right now, so let's do what we have to, and it's going to take 365 days for us to do it. So we got to do what we have to and get things in place. The bill is one of them, and all the other things that they happen because they're already losing elections now that are within this year. Never mind what's going to happen in 2026. And if they lose elections, that means they lose seats, and losing seats is not something that they need because already 3 or 4 people are coming on the other side, Democratic side, and vote against some things. So imagine if it was, uh, you know, 10 more people, or that would be kind of drastic to the Republican Party. Um, so
I think
they have to do something within this year, and
like
that's why all this stuff's getting done real quick.
yeah, because why aren't you? I feel like the cost of living is so high. Do something about that. I believe in health, like this healthcare. Like that's just important because I believe everybody should have the right to healthcare. Do something about that. Um, these stuff where you're giving reality stars pardons and Hoover, who he's not going to get out of jail anyway. So what's the point? You know, um, even the rappers that been in these violent altercations, like why are you doing this in your first year of office? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we govern, please? Can we, you know, you this Ukraine thing is getting worse. He's getting mad at Putin. Oh, like I'm getting pissed off. Like Putin, we've been telling you who Putin is.
Mm-hmm.
This is who he is. Like I don't see why you didn't like see. And now, he's all these killings and everything like that in this war. And this is why we were giving him money because Putin's not going to stop. He's not going to stop.
It's definitely not a man that this administration should be playing around with.
No.
I think you don't take him lightly, and he's not a man of his word. I mean, so gotta watch.
He's never been.
Putin is just dangerous. If I had to have any fear or any person in this world, it would be him because the loss of life just doesn't matter to him. So Donald Trump needs to tread not to be intimidated by him, but you know what? Be careful.
And I tell you what, you're right, Derek. That I'm exhausted too.
I
When it
think
comes
we
to
all are.
this politics stuff, I'm exhausted, and because it's always something new, always something new, but it's nothing with substance to make this country better. Like I don't know.
Listen, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I know
Mhm.
you guys like want to, bash Trump and what he's doing or whatever. I mean, that's fine. Everyone has a different opinion.
Mhm.
For me, and from where I'm standing, okay, I've listened for the last 4 years. The media like bullshit and lie to me,
Mhm.
right? Biden's healthy. This, I mean, I stopped listening to the media a long time ago, so I'm not jumping back on now when the stuff that you tell me or the stuff that you hear, whatever. I'm like, is it true? Is it is a little bit true? Is a lot of it been true? Is none of it true? Because that's how I felt for the last 4 years, listening to the media bullshit and lie. So I have a hard time putting the TV on and listening to what any one of these broadcast stations have to say about politics, because I never know if it's true or not. Because of course, by and large, the majority of the TV stations is a mouthpiece for the Democratic side. So it's is it more negativity to Trump? That's another lie, like the lies that they fed us for the last
Mhm.
however many years.
Know what I like to like because you got to navigate because I don't think these news stations are telling all lies, right? That's what, but you got to navigate in a way of like for an example, when you put on Fox News, you really don't have engaging debates between people. That this is all opinion based. You go look at the programming.
And they all
Like,
fight the clock. They're all
yeah.
fighting it to get
So
within.
there's a couple of programs on CNN where you got people going at it, and through these debates and arguments, you're getting facts.
Yeah, there's a good dude on CNN. He's like the only Republican guy that goes.
Yeah, I know
goes
you're
at-
talking.
He goes at these people.
Yeah, you go at him.
He's
Yeah,
very, and I like
but
listening to him.
I don't like. I like listen to him, but some of them, I think he's like, "Yo, dude, you're out of touch, bro." Like, and like he's the one that did the facial expression. I know who you're talking about, and I'm like, it's like you're not understanding what the average person is going through.
But even a guy like that, he is, like I said, they're fighting the clock. A guy like that, we don't need to see for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He needs to be on for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something that's quick. There's a debate that's quick, and guess what? You argue a point, and in 20 minutes, it's going to go by so quick. We see that on our show. All of a sudden, oh man, the hour went by. The second hour went by. In that case, with him, somebody that has the facts already in his head and he can spit them out so freely, boom, 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 boom. Guess what? He needs to be on an hour so we can listen to exactly what he wants to say, how he wants to say it, and prove every single point. In national news media, they don't give us the opportunity to listen to that. So that's like guys like me, you, and Derek. We go to podcasts. We go to different podcasts to listen to it because it's going to be a thorough debate with no interruption, and it's going to have three people with three different stories, three different views, and they're going to go at it. So as much as CNN brings all that and they bring all these things, Republican or Democrat, I need them on for a long time. Give me an hour show so I can hear them, so I can debate it, so I can grab my phone and let me fact check it. Let me do this. Let me do that. So we're getting shortchanged, and we always got shortchanged when it comes to TV and news. They've been doing that. They sold us that a man went on the moon. I still don't believe that.
You don't think it happened?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, B Mag, Scott Jennings. That's
Scott Jennings. That's his name.
Yeah.
So let me just say another, and I'm not taking away from the Trump talk. I'm just saying how I feel about listening to the stuff that's going on, right?
Mhm.
This dude from CNN, I want to say is it Jack Tapper? Is that his name? Jack. I think it's him. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
One of these dudes just wrote a book about how people lied about Biden or whatever. He was the one lying too. He was on his show saying how healthy Biden was. Oh, he's fine with it. Then he wrote a book how the everyone got over and lied about Biden.
Part 2, right?
How does it fucking make any sense? This doesn't make any sense to me. So now I'm supposed to like check in the news. Oh, Trump's getting rid of Medicare. That's bullshit. He's not getting rid of Medicare. So I'm gonna like pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, we're definitely gonna find out because things got to happen soon. When it comes out of the decision.
But when they say Trump is getting rid of Medicare and you see y'all politicians say that he is in this bill, you still don't believe it?
Who's the politician? Are they Democratic politicians?
Why does it matter?
Because this is the thing, Berto. Any Democrat politician is going to say anything against Trump. Trump could be doing something good and they're going to complain about it. That's the problem. That's the problem with politics by and large. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Republicans do like the Democrats. So, as American citizens, okay, we sit here so to like trust these people trying to make a better place for us, and we got to like, sift through the bullshit and the inconsistencies that is just screwed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it proved it with Jeffries and Kushner, getting appointed, Kushner's dad or whatever it was. He flip-flopped on that, and that wasn't the way to go as far as the Democratic Party, but he did. He swayed. He got the guy approved, and I forget the title that he has. But so who can you trust? Probably nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. It's very disheartening as a citizen.
However, Jasmine Crockett got my heart, man. I think I
like Jasmine Crockett. I really do, and I like Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, man. I like. You don't like. Why do you like Pete Buttigieg? I wonder because the last time I mentioned his name, it was a reaction there. I was like, yo, why?
I mean, what has he done?
What do you mean? What he's done?
What has he done? He was a transportation secretary.
He was a mayor. He's
He
a
was a mayor.
transportation. He's a veteran. He is.
I give him that. I give him that. He's a veteran.
He adopted a black child. He's gay. It's like he's everything what America is.
What does gay have to do with anything that?
Because it's an issue. It's a civil rights issue when it comes to gay people.
So
I think that religion is being weaponized to demonize people. I don't like that. You don't have to agree with that lifestyle, but don't tell me what to think or what to do. Like, I'm not gay. I'm not going to tell you who to love. I'm not going to tell you who you're going to be attracted to because it doesn't fit your religion. You know what I'm saying? And they want to demonize people and be like, oh, because you want to protect children. Let me ask you a question. Is it the transgenders touching children, or is this preachers? Who touches children more? We don't want to talk about that.
No, I mean,
let's eliminate religion. Just like you want to eliminate the LGBTQ. Goes, there's a lot of preachers that's messing with children. But we're not trying to eliminate them. They got the biggest influence in society. So,
well, I mean, I think you're talking about the Catholic religion.
I'm
talking by and large.
In general, I think there's been a lot of different, especially those different religious cults and all that. They're out there, and they're having babies with teenagers. So
and it's
religion is in a whole is definitely pedophilia, if that's the right word.
So when I talk about Pete Buttigieg, he could be empathetic to all people. He could be empathetic to black people because he has a black children. He could be empathetic to LGBT because he's gay. He could be empathetic to veterans because he's been a veteran. He could be empathetic to how important the FAA is for planes because he was a transportation secretary. He could be empathetic at how to lead the country because he was in a leadership position as a mayor. And and I like his temperament. So that's why I would vote for him. He has more qualifications than Donald Trump did. Just because we don't agree with his lifestyle, but yet he served this country living that type of lifestyle. So that's why I like Jasmine Crockett, because I think that we need more younger people in this leadership position, and we need more outspoken people in this leadership position. I think that there's too many older people in these positions, and we need to progress.
We need people that are gonna be honest, tell the truth, and do what's better for the country.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, the only way that's going to happen if the military goes in and sweeps through every single Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and get rid of everyone in leadership and start from zero, because they're all lying to us one point or another. They're all lying to the government when they file their taxes.
Thank you. Yes.
It's just over and over and over and over.
I know a person who is like, because how Trump is taking away some of people's welfare benefits because they're abusing, right? There's people getting benefits where, it's generational.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So it's a way of life.
100%. They're manipulating the system. Okay, I get that, but but they're not really breaking the law. But are we going after those rich people who are manipulating our tax system? That's not even paying any taxes. That's okay, right? These people are poor. They're trying to eat, and they're manipulating the system to eat. But these multi-billionaires are manipulating the tax system. They're not literally breaking the law, just like these people this on benefits, but you're not forcing them to pay.
But who creates the tax system? The politicians.
Yeah. So we as voters stop voting in people who's going to demonize the poor, like they're the reasons why all this money's being spent.
But listen, Trump's been in there for however many days, or the first time. Who's been in office for the last 50 years? And I'm not saying Democrat. It's all of them.
Dude, it's all of them. 100%. and it's our system.
So why isn't the tax code so they pay more? Whatever.
No,
whatever,
we
whatever
do
your
that.
argument is, they should. Why Because I will say to Trump's credit, he stood in front of Hillary Clinton and said, "Oh, Hillary's like, oh, you don't pay taxes, whatever." And he turned around and be like, "Yo,
You do it too.
you created the fucking the system.
You do it too.
Right.
No, 100%. So what do? We need to, as citizens, to eliminate. Like, we got to get this old guard out of here and get new blood, new ideas. Who, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's our political system that is
Term limits.
Term limits, 100%.
Dude, please, term limits.
100%.
So wait, we don't have this conversation because I want to know when we're going to start talking about this. Why are we not? 74% of Massachusetts citizens voted for an audit in Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
Do you think they've done that? Do you think they started to do that?
Probably not.
No,
we talked about that on the show. We
talked about it, but I'm saying that where is like the uproar in Massachusetts?
100%.
Right?
100%.
Where's that money going to?
100%.
So this is our politicians. I don't know how old our mayor is, but it's not all like old white people that are in control making things. It's politicians in general when they have a lot of power. I feel
it's the people with money.
Right.
It costs money to run for office, especially an office that has some real power.
Right.
So we need to understand. We got to follow the money. Like we're looking at. Like I don't look at the politician. I'm looking at the money behind them. Because that's who's influenced them. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Trump. He's putting it right in our face. He's like, yo, Elon Musk gives him multi-billions of dollars for his campaign and everything else. Oh, yeah. Hey, can I get 59 of my South African people's quick citizenship? Why not? You gave me multi-billion dollars. You got people like the reality star. Daughter gave him $1 million that actually spoke at the Republican convention for him. He goes, can you get my same thing? It's like going down the line where it's the money. And it's like if you see a trend in this America, if it's the Cassie situation, if it's the Donald Trump situation, if it's all this other stuff, what's the main denominator? Money.
Yeah. Follow the money is the old
Follow the money. We are, as Americans, are too in love with money, and it's our own detriment. It's killing our democracy. It's killing our morals. It's killing our religion. It's killing everything because everybody thinks they're gonna be a millionaire. You're not. You got girls 20 years old selling their body to make money. And you don't think that's diluting this society. And now you got girls defending these girls because they make money. It's my body. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, Trump, hey, he didn't break no laws for freaking not paying no taxes, right? But I could go hungry. I can't afford an apartment to live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah,
like,
listen.
It's like I'm not saying it's you. Yeah. Like we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
I don't know if it's like too much, too fast, what have you. But I mean, listen, I'm all about. If we in this some of the things that he stood for when he was running, I'm all about trying to get rid of the fraud, right? So even the people, listen, I get if you can't afford a place to live, but the people that are on food stamps or it's a way of life, make it 3 years, like do something.
Well, that's always been
a culture.
It's
a culture thing too. Where like generation to generation, you said it right.
Yeah.
What can we do to get these people to either change their way of thinking, change their we have a 3-year window where we can not take advantage, but we're gonna get some help, and then we gotta learn to stand on our own 2 feet, and maybe with a supplement a little bit less and less, something.
Yeah, 100%. Like
there's always been some kind of like 5-year plan for recipients of most of these programs. I think it's 5 years. And there's always been that in place. But what happens is during that 5 year, they may get a job or further education. So you have to still aid them a little bit. Yeah. And so it gets a little bit longer.
It did get a little bit lenient.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in welfare. I remember getting those blocks.
You and me both.
You know what I'm saying? Like those that had that thick blocks of cheese, and it was in the
How
cardboard
thick was
box.
your grilled cheese?
Oh, right. And I remember like living like that, and my mother being a single parent and everything like that. But you know something, my mother went and she became a hairstylist, and once she was able to get off of it, she got off of it, and she actually got into. Then she went to get a job and working for the district court and retire off of that stuff.
So your mom is a perfect example.
Yeah,
Perfect example.
and she's an immigrant that came from Cape Verde Island.
Yeah. So you know what? Cool.
That's the
kudos to
American
her.
dream.
Yeah.
Kudos.
That's
And I love your mom. She came over
Yeah.
to me at your party and said,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Everybody loves my mom.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I love my mother too. No, you know,
Yeah.
but that's goes without saying. But that's where, again, we lost our way as American. We lost that American dream where we've gotten lazy. We're not holding each other accountable. We're giving passes for reckless behavior. And yes, but at the same time, we can't be unempathetic to people are trying to do the right thing. People, like, the cost of living is too freaking high. So what do you think people are gonna do? Know what they're gonna do, Charlie? Know what I noticed? DoorDash is a career now.
Oh, it is.
DoorDash is a career. Why? Like I was eating at Applebee. All these people.
Yeah. In and out.
It's a career.
how you referring that? Like
That's what people do. Because know why people don't want to be in a box to be 9 to 5 and work and like UPS. Like people know how much money we make, but you got to go through some struggle to get to that
but listen,
point.
yeah, but
People don't want to do that no more
because
people,
lazy.
yes.
Yes. Okay, because you work hard.
I bust my ass.
You make fantastic money.
Yeah,
but you work hard.
I bust my ass.
I
Yeah,
work
we
hard.
do.
I
Yes,
work
yes,
very
you
hard,
do.
right?
Yep.
So these people, the young generation. So I mean, whatever. So I'm probably generalizing, but you might have some 50-year-old doing DoorDash, make a couple extra bucks, got a kid in college. I get it.
That's good.
I get it, right?
Yeah.
But this younger generation, to
It's
your
a
point,
career.
yeah. Oh, because lazy, I'm gonna drive in a car, whatever, instead of like, you know, I don't know, just, you know.
Yeah.
We need more tradespeople.
Every restaurant I go to, I'm like, yo,
The bottom of the barrel. I hate to say it. It's like, you know,
it is.
Get a career, like
Get a career.
That's like a fill-in type of a thing.
Yeah, get an education, trade school, something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it all started with taking like home ec out of the high school, or taking short class out of the high school, where you should be having trades where know how to code, like the basic ways of coding, or financial stuff, or things like that. Get these kids prepared, and so they can choose a career, not going into being DoorDashing as a career.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like really be like, pay attention to any restaurant you are going to, and just watch in and out. I'm like, these motherfuckers are coming in with it, like, yeah, I'm here for a pickup for this.
Oh, they're like here for a pickup, and they're just getting handed a bag. It's for Nikki or this or that, you know, but it's nonstop, where there's more people coming in through the doors and out the doors than there are customers sitting at the end.
And no, it's crazy. DoorDash and all that Uber Eats is not cheap. You're actually wasting money because it's fees after fees. So y'all financially not even aware.
Yeah, you're buying like a $5 meal and spending like $15.
Yeah.
You know,
you could get a $25 meal and you're spending $55.
So that's another
how stupid is that?
Laziness on that person's part too.
Yeah, and I did that stupid thing, and I realized, like, all right, I want to get this. Oh, $30. And after all the fees, this and that, I'm like 60-something bucks.
Yeah,
and they still ask for a tip.
I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
I want to know who's doing the DoorDash. Who's ordering the DoorDash?
Some immigrants.
Someone sitting at home.
Sitting at home,
right,
doing nothing. You could tell the way they dress and how they present themselves,
right.
And that's another conversation. We're not teaching these kids how to present themselves in public so they could be held accountable, because you're going to get judged. You're going to get judged. Like there was a conversation on the Breakfast Club where a reporter, Lauren LaRosa, she's very professional. She's good at her job, and she posted online her booty popping and scandalous clothing, and people were criticizing it. Like, you're in the public view now. You're gonna be. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you want to get to a level you need to present yourself in a respectful way, because you may partying and this is my body, I'm doing this, but a place that you're at, you might be at a place where that dream job that you want, that boss is at that party.
Yeah.
And he saw you.
Or he checks out your social media.
They check
Check it,
you
right.
know they go to
Right.
the social media.
Well, now you in the application process, you have to sign off on the social media, giving access to it. So
y'all being judged, even though you feel like it's not being fair.
Right.
Like how you present yourself in public, y'all being judged.
Yeah, that's big.
You look at
Big.
these kids, how they dress, if it's pajamas or it's just
Yeah.
no. Because y'all gonna be judged, because there's cameras everywhere. Everybody's taking pictures. So if you're gonna be seen, y'all gonna be judged. And they have every right to judge you if they want to hire you, not because it's their business. It's their place of business. You get if you don't like it, then make a business of your own. But you're not gonna be a successful business person if you don't present yourself in the right way. Because as soon as you walk into business, you're gonna look at that person behind that counter. And you're going to be judged.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We need to teach our kids these things. But DoorDash is a freaking, like my godson DoorDashes, but he's about to get ready to go to college.
Right. Right.
And to me, that's a great job for him.
My son DoorDash for a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
Make a couple bucks senior year.
That's great. That's almost, DoorDashing is almost like, remember kids used to work at the supermarket bagging groceries?
Mm-hmm.
Like the DoorDashing is the new bagging groceries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And where it gives kids another form of work ethic. But I don't know. I was on my soapbox on that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Hey, I wanted to mention about Brian. He mentioned Westmore, Maryland, candidate for 2028. That's his vote. So that was in the comment section. That's Westmore of Maryland.
Put that
high contender.
Westmore for Westmore.
He's going for presidential, I think it is.
Can I say one last thing before you're gonna close it down?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me say one last thing about politics, whatever. I was on my Facebook this past a few days ago, whatever, and I was looking at one of my memories, like the memories pop up.
Yeah.
I was looking at the memory, whatever, and I saw someone made a comment on it. I was like, oh shit, like I haven't heard from her or seen her on Facebook in a while. So I clicked on her profile and we weren't friends anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, huh, like I've known this woman for, most of my whole life. Okay. I'm not like super close, whatever, but I was close with a family member.
Yeah.
So anyway, after a couple of days went by, I'm like, damn, like we're not friends anymore. And, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm like, I sent her a message and I'm like, hey, something that I, if I offended you, I hope you're well. I noticed we weren't friends anymore, whatever. I know we're politically on different sides.
Yeah.
And, she responded saying that, she just didn't have, I've supported Trump. Right. I mean, I don't think on my Facebook people can tell. You think people can tell? I maybe shared a couple of memes after the election or during the election, so people might that I supported Trump. Hey, no problem. I mean, I tend to, as an independent, tend to go conservative side, whatever. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
But she deleted me because I supported a person that is, whatever, right? And today is Pride Month. Okay, June is Pride Month. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I want to play something.
Right. So June, let me finish my story.
Yeah,
okay? So I just want to say this about like politics and like people in general is I support Pride Month.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of my best friends are lesbians or gay or whatever. Yeah. So, I really have a hard time in our society that I don't know if it's like the media doing it, but we like pit people against each other and make things that are not that way. Okay. Because just because I voted for Trump, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only person that supported Trump that, gets along with, June being Pride Month. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I hate that about our politics or whatever, that people like pick and choose kind of, or you voted for Trump, you got to be like, you must be racist or you must be a homophobe. That's all bullshit to me. Okay?
Yeah.
I know who I am as a person. Okay. And who I support and who I like as a friend and who I don't.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with Pride Month. If you're a gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever.
Yeah.
So
No, you're absolutely 100% right. Like I treat people individually when it comes to this Trump issue. I always want to know why, and and you're like you and I, we always go back and forth and everything like that. But there is no judge because I know your character and I know who you are, and a lot of people are getting their emotions, and I think that we live in a climate where we need to talk to each other,
Conversations.
have conversations instead of prejudging each other. But people don't know how to even talk to each other anymore. They get in their emotions and they'll shut
They
down.
don't want to have a conversation. They don't want to have a. We do this all the time. They don't want to have a back and forth conversation and say and explain why or explain this or
Yeah.
this is how I feel. This is where I'm coming from. You know, what I mean?
Like we
No
supposed
one
to
wants do
know
that.
your experience, and we don't know your experience. Like I had a I want to bring up a story. Like I was talking about this Cassie situation, and and a girl accused Diddy of rape, and I'm like, you can't do that, right? And she's like, I know that he raped her. I'm like, how do you know? Well, he beat her. Yeah, because you saw that beat. Yes, he is. Don't say that it's rape.
Mhm.
And she was just adamant. I was like, how do you know? She goes, you're assuming it. And she's like, yeah, I'm assuming it. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Mhm.
You can't label somebody that. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, she went through a rape. I didn't know. If I knew, I wouldn't even had the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she was upset with me. I felt bad. But if she told me that in the beginning of the conversation, I would have dead the conversation because I would have been empathetic to the whole situation.
Mm.
Because I understand where she coming from. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So I'm not fighting it. I thought I was just having an adult conversation with two people who have differences of opinion and try to understand why. But she just left the room crying,
Mhm.
and I'm like, what's wrong? But now she comes back. Now she's mad at me. I felt so bad. So bad. And all I'm doing is trying to have a conversation, trying to understand each other, to
Mhm.
try to really work together through our differences so we both can just contribute to a better society versus you go in your corner, I go in my
Right.
corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's and that's what people are doing. We need to stop taking a step back and start taking forward towards
Right.
each
So
other.
I mean, people have to do what they have to do. I mean, I feel that there was a person affiliated with this radio station that deleted me also.
Mm.
So I mean, whatever. People have to do what they want to do, how they feel, but I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Right. I know me as a person, right? I don't, and I would never delete someone because they don't think the same way I do.
Yeah. I mean, with me is I'm gonna call it like it is. And if I thought you were racist, I would have got rid of you just like everybody else. And actually, I um probably wouldn't even be in the same room if I thought you were
Right.
racist,
Right.
because I know me and how I am and how I've been brought up, that I'm I'm gonna stand up to a racist toe to toe, and I may be the first one to throw the first punch. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, but can I ask you something?
Yep.
And I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't. I don't think every person that supports Trump you think is a racist.
No.
Like someone has to show you that they're a racist for you to delete them or
Yeah.
not be in the same room with them.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make every person that supports Trump a racist.
Yeah. And I'm not. And the one thing I don't also condone is someone. I don't accept someone condoning racism. Where it's just something that happens. I don't like when people just come off like that, and it would bother me, and I don't really want to associate or talk with that person. So if I felt that so and so was racist and y'all just accepting it,
I
then
think
I'm gonna
that's
get away from you. I'm
I
gonna
think
get away
that's
from you
the
for
feeling.
for my personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the feeling. To play devil's advocate, because I believe that not all Trump supporters are racist, but all races are Trump supporters.
And all Trump supporters, there are some Trump supporters that extremely hate anything Democrat, and that they wouldn't support anything that comes from a democratic way of thinking
vice
or
versa.
leadership.
And
Yeah.
vice versa.
And so what I'm saying is some people may say, I'm gonna go with Trump only because I will never ever go on the blue side again for the rest of my life, only because I can't. So I'm gonna stay that side, stay that red side.
Do you?
And dig? I've seen it. I know it. And even if they disliked anything, some things that Trump is doing, whether it's A through G, whatever, they may dislike it, but they're gonna stay on that side only because they don't like anything on the blue side, Democratic side whatsoever.
Do you feel like a lot of Trump supporters or some Trump supporters didn't voted for Trump because they didn't want to vote for a woman?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't see that argument at all.
No.
Nope.
It's there though. It's true.
Yeah, see, I don't see that. Listen, I'm just being honest.
Oh, I didn't.
I don't see that.
It's there.
It's
I
so
think
true.
it's there.
So how about this? They don't vote for her. They wouldn't vote for Harris because they believe she was a cop, as a prosecuting attorney,
But they say they support the
and
blue.
and that's black, white, and they won't do it. They just.
I don't even think that cop thing. I think it was because she was a woman.
Yeah, see, I don't really see that.
Because if she had the if a man had if a white man had the same credentials as her, she would have won.
Well, he would have won. Yeah.
I mean, he would have won. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. I really do believe if you really look at the credentials that she had as a white man, he would have won.
I mean, I just disagree.
You know, okay.
Just my opinion. I think it's 2000.
Do you disagree because you're not like that?
No, I think that if her policies weren't like, she was kind of tied to Biden. A lot of the shit that people didn't like for the last 4 years, whether it's the economy and the border and Ukraine, whatever it was, she was kind of tied.
She should have separated herself from that.
So if she did,
but
she might have had a little different, more outcome if she would have separated herself more. But she didn't do that.
But do you blame her for being loyal to the person that put her in the vice?
No, we're not having that conversation. The conversation is, if she would have done that, we might have had a different result, and then we wouldn't be having.
I think she was.
I don't think it was race or a woman.
You don't think so?
No,
it got to be either or.
Derek, I'm your friend. I would.
Got to be either.
I would.
It was her. It was her.
Really
God forbid.
It was her policies. Yes,
you got to.
Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you something.
You can see.
I do have faith. We voted for Obama.
A third of it, but a third of it is exactly what he's saying. A third of the resistance against her was race. A third of it was a woman, and maybe a third of it is what Biden.
I just don't see that. Listen, I don't see that anymore. Listen, we voted for Obama. Clinton did, fairly well against Trump. So,
no, we're not talking about them. We're talking about Harris, though.
I know, but I'm saying is what I'm saying is Hillary Clinton is a woman. We're talking about a woman issue, right? She got some votes for president. So I don't think.
I think she lost because she was a woman.
I don't think so.
Both.
I think she lost
in all classes.
She was part of a crime family. It's like,
I still
come on. Let's call it what it is.
Wait a minute. You calling her a crime family?
We're way over time right now. Okay.
Y'all part of a crime family, and yet you say Trump is like a saint.
I'm not saying that. I'm
that's the hypocritical. She was a woman.
You asked me why she didn't get elected.
We don't care about crime in America. We love our criminals out here.
Yeah, that is true.
But let me.
I'm going home to watch Dateline right now. Okay,
that was the wrong. Crime family was the wrong answer, Derek.
I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, it's another episode has reached its end of the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Download the app, and you can listen to us live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the end, guys. Final thoughts. How was the show? What's anything you want to add on?
No, good show. I felt like sometimes I could have kept talking more about different things, but we're on a time thing too. But a couple good topics, and we'll have some more next week.
Yep, good show. We try to do whatever we can as far as getting people in the studio to talk about many things. But I'm very, very comfortable us three sitting at the table talking about many things.
Mhm.
We talked about a trial. We talked politics.
Sports.
Talked about sports, relationships. I mean, it just goes on. And and I think the viewership is shows on both all our pages,
Oh yeah.
everything. It shows that people are interested in it. So
Mhm.
thank you, WNB1 Radio and the Frequency Live, for getting me on this panel here, especially Berto. I paid him good money to
Yeah, you
come on
paid
here.
me good money.
Oh,
Yo.
see,
You get your money's worth.
politics happening again. See this? See this? I get it. Hey, I just want to say one thing. We didn't have time for this night, but next week I really want to talk about the city of New Bedford.
Oh yeah, we didn't get into that.
And the gun violence.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that conversation next week. Okay?
we're definitely gonna get into that.
And I want to thank everyone for watching too.
Yes.
My final thoughts is this. It is Derek brought it to attention is Gay Pride month
June. Yep.
And this this came up on my feed. It's funny. I gotta listen to this right here.
Happy Gay Month, because you gay and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
We gonna go
Tyler.
gay balloon because it's got all the colors because it's gay.
Okay.
And I got Skittles because it got a rainbow on it.
Okay.
And I got the cookie cake. It's a be who you are for your pride.
This is my Pride Month. Why did you do this? Why are you doing this?
What? Because you're gay.
It's fun, yo. Something like
That definitely was made in Florida.
yeah, it was made in Florida. Happy Gay Pride Month to all the LGBTQWXYZ, the LMLOP people out there.
Great people.
You do deserve your civil rights, in my opinion. And you are supported on the Frequency Live. Love who you love,
and we have a great population here in the city of New Bedford.
Yes. Right? So we'll be back here next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank all our listeners. I want to thank all our watchers. And we'll be back next week with another show. I'm going to play something on this radio after I get off of this live stream on Facebook. So download the WNB1 Radio or go to our social media handles to watch us. And I'm going to play, what's the song? Oh, She's Not Your Friend. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Ooh.